everybody. My name is Patricia Martinez and my partner's name is Lauren Boyles. Our topic is teaching Generation Z students. So before we start, we'll be taking a little basic quiz about Generation Z on Google Forms. Google Forms can be used in the classroom or at home. Students can take quizzes and view the results and correct answers instantly if the teacher sets it up that way, which is a great tool for instant feedback. You will see that that's very important for Generation Z students. Please stop the video now and click on the link in the description box below. Now that you've taken the quiz, we will be reviewing the answers to those on the following slides. So who are Generation Z? Generation Z consists of people born in 1997 and later. We're still learning about them just because they're barely becoming young adults. Generation Z is the generation after the millennials, and they're also called digital natives, iGen, or post-millennials sometimes. They're most commonly called digital natives just because this is the first generation that does not know how to live without the internet. Most of them would say that the internet or technology are necessities for them, whereas previous generations did their schoolwork using dictionaries, encyclopedias, and books, things like that. This generation finds everything on the internet. Parents of Generation Z. Parents are more co-pilot in that they are along with their children for the journey. Children ask their parents for advice, and parents do the same. Parents also take their child's opinions into account while making decisions regarding the children. Potential assets and obstacles. So for potential assets, we have that these students are digitally savvy. They're practical in their thinking. They're more collaborative as a generation when compared to older generations. They are also self-directed, confident, and assertive. Students are more open to practical problem-solving type thinking, which may leave them more open to collaborative learning and collaborative lessons, which is important when thinking about how to teach these students. For obstacles, potential obstacles, it may be hard for them to communicate without technology just because they are so used to communicating with their peers and their family members with text messages or Snapchat or whatever it is. They expect quick and easy results very much for their schoolwork, their tests. They also may be too tech reliant. It's important to note that not everyone has a hard time communicating face-to-face, but it may be a possibility depending on how much they get of it at home. Another possible obstacle is for teachers who are not tech savvy and who have to learn to keep up with these students and how they prefer their content. Things to consider when teaching Generation Z. A few recommendations generally for the classroom. They need face-to-face interaction. Be honest with them as a teacher. Let them know what you're thinking and why you're doing the things you're doing. Involve them in the problem-solving process. Involve parents and families. Keep them open to coming into your classroom and knowing what's going on. Equality and opportunity is valued. These students also think about safety, so address it. Don't just sweep it under the rug. Things like school shootings, immigration, terrorism, they are constantly in these students' minds, and they think about how it affects them, how it affects their communities. So address it accordingly and appropriately for their grade level. Use rewards that are changed frequently to meet changing expectations and demands. These students are used to having things change all the time, so just keeping up with that in their rewards can avoid them getting bored with them. Act more as a guide to help them reach their goals, and include a lot of visual support and aids. This is to appeal to how they are used to having their content, their input in their everyday life. Also encourage physical activity. Most are not getting that at home because they're in front of the TV, in front of the computer, or the game console. So use things every day like PE minutes or Google Go Noodle. quick brain breaks that involve getting up out of the classroom, moving around, just to give them a break and also get them moving. Things to consider for technology, recommendations for technology. They're used to instant access 24/7, so try to incorporate it into your class. Teach them how to research and use technology. So even though they were born into a digital world, the digital competences that are needed to succeed are not readily available as they're born. They have to be acquired and they have to be built up. Use of technology can expand their school experience and help them bridge the gap between the technology they use at home and their schooling. So use technology to problem solve as well, because they are problem solvers, they are practical thinkers. Use technology as a way to connect with students, so only as an enhancement and not a replacement for face-to-face communication.